Hello everyone, this is Lauren with Bold Notion Quilting, and we are going to go over the stem and leaf today. I know we dropped the bonus the ruler work video, so this one is actually just a real quick short one. It's just like the bunny. We're going to kind of go along with the theme and follow the shapes here, and then we're going to add a little caterpillar at the top. So you're using your green thread. You're just going to follow up the stem of the flower. Now I do have my ruler base on, so if you want to follow the stem of the flower with a ruler, you certainly could, but you're probably going to have to freehand around the leaf. Now right about here, I actually have a ruler that's a good shape for the leaf, so I will probably use that coming around for the top portion. I just got to get over a little bit. I'm just going to freehand it. Now right about here, I would stop and I would come in and do my leaf. So I'm going to just follow the spine, and I'm going to follow these green lines. I'm going to go up. Then as I go, I'm going to go do both sides. You can't backtrack completely, that's okay. And you don't have to go all the way to the end if you don't want to. I actually like kind of seeing the light green at the end of the dark green over here on the left. Just kind of peeking in there. And it'll give your leaf a lot of texture. This is pretty moderate quilting. There's a good bit of quilting to do each portion of this leaf stem. So if you wanted to have less quilting and be a little less stiff, you could do like every other one. I'm just going to follow that spine as best I can. Let's come back out. Okay, so now that we've done that first leaf, we're going to continue up the side of our stem, right? And I want to do a caterpillar. If you guys see these pins that are here, it's because I had to pick out a bunch of stitches and it got a little bit wonky. So I put the pins in to help make it a little more secure and even for when I quilt stuff down. So all we're going to do for the caterpillar, let me go ahead and get my plexiglass here. Right above where my needle is, we're going to do a circle, and then we're going to do that worm shape to make its body until it's as big as we want it to be. And then when we get to the top, we'll do another circle. So once we've done the caterpillar, the worm shape, right, we're going to get to his head. We'll do a circle, and then we'll come out and do some antenna, like we did in those one-line wonder videos. If you watch the dragonfly, it'll be just like that. Okay, so we're right about where I want to be. We're going to go ahead and do it as wide as the flower. And then I'm going to get up to the top of the peak, do another circle, come up to the top, do some antenna, come down, travel over. Okay, and now I'm just going to go through the antenna, up, follow the base of my flower, come back down to finish. Now you could do one of two things. You could tack down your threads here, or you could travel along that line. I'm not super concerned about what the back of my quilt looks like. This is just a sample hanging up for a store. So I'm actually just going to follow that line across. gonna get myself a little ruler so it's nice and straight, and then I'm gonna follow my leaf again. And again, I'm gonna follow that across the bottom. Then we're gonna do the same thing that we did with the other leaf. We're just gonna go up on each one of the lines. And I did have to pick this one out too. I had some trouble with my grain tension. I don't know why the same colors for the same type of thread can have such weird wonky issues with the tension separate from what all the other colors had. But it happens. If it's not right on the line, again, it really doesn't matter. So now I'm just going to do a couple back and forth to tack off. And we're going to do our fern. See that white started coming through. Just gonna pull that nice and tight. Where are my scissors? You know what? I don't know if it's just me, but seriously, every time I put down my scissors, they're in a different spot and they're not anywhere that I meant to put them. It must just be me. I'll get my thread cutter here. Probably put them in the pocket of the jacket I just took off. That would be very much like me. It's not always as clean of a cut as I'd like, but it happens. Oh, I cut the wrong string. Darn it. It's okay. I just have to make sure that's long enough, and it is. Alright, so again, the pins are there because I had to pick out some stitches here. I'm not sure if you can really see, but it was not a pretty version of what I think a fern should look like, so I took them out. I couldn't help myself. It is a sample after all. If I was just making this for a video, you would get the idea and I'd be okay with it, but I wasn't okay with it. So, for a fern, so when I think of a fern, I think of half of a mustache. So you go out, flick up and down, flick up and down, and you get kind of that mustachy type shape. So for me, you could also think of it as like a black silhouette of a bird with wings. If you can associate your shape with something, you're gonna get a better looking outcome. It's gonna be more consistent. So if we go ahead and just start off with our half of a mustache, the one thing that you wanna remember, it's really hard to do this with my camera in the way. The one thing that you wanna remember is that at the base of a fern, it needs to be the biggest. And then as you get closer to the top, they'll get smaller. If I hadn't hit my hoop there. They'll get smaller as they get closer to the top. So this needs to be the widest part of the base and needs to taper down smaller onto the top. Now if you want to make this a little fancier, every couple fern leaves that you do, you can come up and do like a little swirl and follow it down. You could make it more of like a ribbon shape if you wanted. You could also make it more of like a stamen kind of thing if you want to come out and around. You can just kind of give it your own little flair, but if you do that every couple one and you don't do it like 1, 2, 3, swirl, 1, 2, 3, swirl, just kind of alter it. 3 here, 2 in a swirl, 4 in a swirl. You'll get a better look. So I'm going to go ahead and tack down my threads and start stitching. And you want them the biggest at the bottom, so we're just going to go up, half a mustache, back down. The hardest part can be getting around that curve. So if you put that little swirl somewhere into your curve, it'll be easier for you to get out of it. top of my fern to have like a little teardrop shape. And I'm just going to slowly but surely follow this sucker down and try very hard not to cut off the pretty fern leaves that I just made. And then I'm going to do the other side. And then if you want, in the picture that I put up, I actually had 2 ferns going. And I couldn't decide if I wanted to do 2 or 1, but for the sake of keeping it maybe less crowded, so I'm not doing too much, cough cough, hoppy hen, cough cough, I'm just gonna leave it to 1. Otherwise I was gonna do another one right in here. But when we get started for our next video, now that you've done the fern, again, I did my fern with a water-soluble marker to mark the spine. You could use a chalk roller, you could use anything that'll work well for you, because that'll erase when I'm all done. But for the next video, we're going to come in and we're going to do a spider web right in this area, and I'm going to mark it off while on camera to show you guys kind of how I lay that out. And then we'll move into the cloud background and we will be done. So thank you so much for joining me on this adventure for this quilt along. Please subscribe to the page if you want to get more videos and be alerted of future quilt alongs. I hope to do another one in January or February. Please send me some ideas if there's any panels that you guys really like that you'd like to get some tips on how to quilt. Like my Facebook page, you can visit me on Instagram, send me a message, let me know what you guys are looking for, what you need. If you have requests for different kinds of how-to videos when I start doing those again, don't hesitate to ask. Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy quilting and God bless.